Bum, bum. I have to do something different. What's good, YouTube? The one and only Eminem6 here with Mr. Bruce Menard himself.
Yes,
we are on the journey, the world's points journey.
Yes,
Stay tuned for the documentary about this man after the WCQ. I'm doing something just for funds. But so you got 45th at YCSND. We know that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But we still on.
We're still on the Snake Eyes.
Because you got 4th place.
At, where was that?
Philly.
Yeah,
you went to Philly.
Oh,
yeah, you were up there with some contenders.
It was the craziest regional I've ever been to.
You had Pac winning it with Brandon, going undefeated, Puppa locking.
Christian Urena was second with Stun.
Runic.
Yeah. It was disgusting.
And then you listened to me a little bit. What were we on?
Snake Eyes.
Yes.
Snake Eyes Cash.
All right, let's get into the list.
Yeah. So the Snake Eyes cards, at this point you're like, this is the same exact stuff. The 3 necessary bricks, I've thought about cutting this down to 1. It does make your turn 1 combo way worse, depending on how you open, because it just like cuts off a lot of lines. So I decided to play 2, but when I side, I usually side 1 out if I need to. It's like the first thing I side out. And then of course the triple bonfire that searches all of those. Then of course triple Diabell Star, triple wanted, original, Divine Temple, you know how it is.
Oh, we got the cash.
But yeah, we decided to play cash. So this is my small little cash engine. Planet's like the best starter in the deck. Like Planet plus Diabell is just disgusting. Birth, this card, I drew this card 2 out of the 3 games, every single match. This card was glued in my hand. I hated it. It did win me a game because I activated it and I sent it off of original once when my hand was like all hand traps. And my opponent, I activated this and he was like, do I SP banish this? And he was like, no. And then I original it off and he was like, I should have SP'd it. And then I won the game because of that. But yeah, these cards are crazy.
It's not a super.
No.
You probably fixed that problem with the super.
Yeah, you're right. But these cards I really, really liked. They do add in a brick, and they do add into like weird draws. Like drawing these after turn 1 is kind of weird, especially if your board stays. But if your board stays, you usually win the game, so it doesn't really matter. But Birth and Unicorn by themselves have won me so many games. Just the fact that if like you open up awkward and your hand is just Unicorn or just Planet plus hand traps, that's almost enough for you to win the game. Because you Birth, you banish 3 out of your opponent's graveyard. Unicorn, you're probably banishing 2 from their extra deck. Like, they can't kill you, comes back to your turn, and you put up enough of a board that it's enough. I can't talk about how good these cards are. These cards are really good. And then for hand traps, very healthy format, calls for very healthy amounts of hand traps. I'm just going to quickly nice solid 18.
Jesus.
This is a change from my YCS Indie list. This one nib I cut for a terraforming. I really didn't like the terraforming. It wasn't because of Droll. It's just like I just felt like I was seeing too much of like my cash stuff, which is like sometimes like it's kind of like complaining about a good thing. But I wanted more hand traps. I wanted to be able to break boards, and I also felt like at this event I was going to see a lot more Rogue and a lot more Droll, which I did. And so I'm glad I had the extra nib because the nib like came in super clutch.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No crossout?
Nah, not in the cash version. Cash version doesn't run crossout.
I was just asking the question. just asking the question for the peoples.
For the extra deck, Anima, you gotta run it. Phoenix, gotta run it. SP, gotta run it. IP, gotta. I'm just gonna. You know the stuff that you gotta play.
It's already self-explanatory. This is Link Cash.
So this is all mandatory inclusions, along with the Hope Harbinger and the Draco Sack. If you're not running Draco Sack, I think you're insane, especially in the cash version. I've seen some lists that don't run it. I don't know why.
It's Draco Sack. Jesus.
This card's crazy. I stole my opponent's... what did I say? I stole my opponent's Ceravis with Talents, and then with Kashtira Fenrir, and then overlaid them into Draco Sack. It was the most disgusting thing I did all weekend for sure. The 15th slot, which is kind of flex, it can be either Underworld Goddess, Typhon, or Pit Knight, really. Or you can run Puzzle Mino, I guess.
Ant-Man preference. You picked the right card. You got 4th. You picked the right card.
Yeah. I don't think I ever summoned this. No, that's a lie. I did summon this against Guru Control. They made a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and so I outed it with this. But if this was Typhon, it'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
So
I look at that wonderful side.
shouts to the homies, of course. For the side deck, I decided to play 3 bells. My biggest issue at Indy, especially if you watch the live stream, was branded. I think the deck does really well into branded if we go first. If we don't go first, you need as many cards as you possibly can to beat branded as possible. This also has some overlap into the Melodious matchup, along with the Voiceless matchup. So yeah, it's really nice, and it's also really good into Runic Stone too. So like it just hit all the check marks I needed to hit cards I needed. One of the Lyrilisk. This is kind of like a I felt scared moment. This probably didn't need to be in the deck. I also didn't play against any Tenpai, so this card never came in. I sided in once against someone that was like really playing for time, and I was like, oh, if you're trying to play for time, I'm just gonna put this card in. It didn't come up. 2 droplet. Again, this is more for branded. Just more ways to out Sanctifier is really important. But it's also a really good board breaker into a lot of different decks. Like seeing this plus a cash is really nice.
Ban the puppet. What? I didn't say that.
Yeah. Or just get rid of Sanctifier. I mean.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I ran 2 Lightning Storms and 1 Harpies instead of the typical like triple Cosmic. A lot of times in the mirror match, lots of times they're just setting things like Skill Drain or Metal Tronus or Imperms. And so lots of times when I'm going second into the mirror, I try to get at least Lightning Storms in. And like, depending on the matchup is what I side out for a Harpies. Like if I'm playing against Pure versus Cash versus Fire King, so on. But these came in super clutch because these are also really good into a lot of Rogue. And into like things like Voiceless is really strong into. Like just really strong. These cards were super awesome all weekend. Triple Talents. I side the Talents because I don't like seeing it in my hand in the main deck because it's not always good. But this is a really strong card, especially when you go second and you pair it with hand traps or you pair it with Kashtira engine. This card's just really strong. And then all the hand trap matchups. The reason why I didn't main deck this is because so many of the decks, at least when I was like looking at Italian Nationals, and which is why I assume people would be like, I don't know, start looking at other decks. There's a lot of board breakers, and so these aren't as strong in like a board breaker format. So I didn't set them onto all the matchups because a lot of matchups were running board breakers. And then the card that probably needs to get banned. This card is
it's back at 3 for a reason.
Yeah,
so we can hate it.
Yeah, I just don't know why it's alive. But that's it.
So any shout outs?
I'm gonna shout outs to man behind the camera, Ant-Man 816 right there. Shout outs to the team Lagoon right here. Shout outs to Action Sports, best locals in Kansas City, best place to get your singles. Other than that, that's it.
I hear you. So we have Omaha. Do we have anything else to look forward to?
So I'm going to Omaha at the end of the month. I'm gonna probably compete in the remote regional this weekend, and then probably Indy. I don't know yet. It kind of depends on like money.
Understandable. All right, everyone. This has been the 101 here with Mr. Bruce Menard. Thank you again. Stay tuned for future contact featuring Bruce. And until next time, duelists, there's always a move to make. Deuces.